Is because LinkedIn's down.
Interesting. Just disconnected LinkedIn. Well, nobody shows up on LinkedIn anyway. Today's fine.
Oh,
We'll
really?
do it. I'll look into it. I mean, people do watch on LinkedIn, a few people, but
Right. Oh,
nobody joins in there. Well, hey everybody.
hello,
We're just
hello.
facing some technical difficulties streaming over to LinkedIn, but let me just check to make sure we're live over on YouTube. Um, Looks like we're live. Sweet. I always get nervous now from that one time where you were you weren't on and I didn't check YouTube and it
Oh, yeah.
created a duplicate link, and so the email that went out to everybody um, just it redirected everybody to the wrong thing. So I was like, oh, that sucks.
Man.
Oh well,
Oh, well. Hopefully,
technical
won't have
difficulties.
technical difficulties. It's
So
kind of cool.
funny.
Like, you almost need like an app where you have like 10 screens going, like, pop, pop, pop. This is how we look.
Do you have two screens or are you a solo monitor?
I'm a solo monitor guy.
Me too.
I don't know. I actually, I'm in the camp where I feel like if I see multiple screens, I'm like, I don't know, you're coping here.
Right. Oh, totally, totally. No, I agree. I agree.
But I mean, the only time I did, I feel like I've used two screens is when I'll have like Slack on and one like the smaller screen or something, like more like a passive screen. But I've never needed to go back and forth. And I also use, I mean, in Mac you can have I think it's called Workspace. I mean, I swipe, so I have different screens on the Mac,
Hmm.
which I can magic swipe through, which for me, that's like super powerful. I have like four different ones. I literally have um, Jellypod, my own, and then like a random incognito one, which is like if I have to put a site that I don't trust, like,
Right. I got nervous yesterday. I was just like, I went to this startup office down the street. It was pretty cool, awesome office in the Presidio. Um, I think they were, in retrospect, it seems like they're like trying. They got me over there to be like, figure out how Jellypod's doing and see like, oh, can we just hire your team over? But I
oh
was
wow,
like, and then I was just like, oh no, sorry, we're probably
wow.
doing better than you guys are.
Hey, I mean, do they know they can't even afford us?
Yeah, that's
Like
honestly
that's
kind of like
that's
where that conversation went. I was like, oh, they're like, oh, you see the
wow.
sparkle left their eyes. It was
But yeah, I
cool.
mean, I guess that's flattering that they would want us.
I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a growing thing where small little companies get swooped up by big tech. I have a friend, and I'm not gonna mention who the company is, but like they're acquiring a lot of little small, 3 to 10 person teams, and just very quiet under the table, small, double-digit deals. Double-digit million deals. And I was just like, oh, it's super interesting because like they're like, hey, we would rather take a team of 5 people that have vetted and proven themselves to be able to build something versus
Mm,
go off and spend however many man hours interviewing employees, potential, all this stuff. Like, hey, we'll pay a premium just to get
right.
some like solid talent because talent right now is tough. Good talent, I mean.
Right. Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I think hit the nail on the head. It's just a quick way to hire a bunch of people that are vetted,
right,
and oftentimes, you're hiring a team, not just a person, because it's also like about how they work together, and so you're getting
right,
that synergy. So yeah,
totally,
it's a great hiring. I think it's a good hiring tactic.
right.
Jumping back to the screen debate, I just saw the chat. So wow, Noel has like four. Damn. I don't
That's
know if
crazy.
he's, are you,
Cybersecurity guys.
yeah, oh, cybersecurity. I was like, it's either a stock trader or some like like crazy analytics going or something. Yeah,
And
I,
then we're
I've always been like one thing at a time. I can multitask. And I'm very happy that, research has caught up to show that it usually doesn't work for most
right.
people. For some people it does work, but
Totally. It's kind of like the discussion we had the other day. I know we're on a tangent, everybody. So hey, if you're here for the first time, but Bilal and I, we talked about this on our podcast, Creative Flux, about how like multitasking. There's like a state of vibe or flow state where right now, if you're not like fully giving into the vibes on coding, and you're kind of like one off, piecemealing, having to look at what AI is generating and everything. It's like you're not entering in deep flow with vibing, and you're not entering deep flow of like hard engineering, and so multitasking is kind of difficult. But um, yeah, so it's that was a fun discussion the other day.
Yeah,
But
but it's hard to get into that flow state. So hopefully AI and these tools, the whole
right,
goal is to let you get into that. That's, I mean, I
right,
guess in a way, like that's one of the ethos of Jellypod is like, we let you create something cool podcast and you don't have to like get super deep into it. So,
right.
oh,
This
yeah,
is cool. So yeah, we'll stop our banter over here, and we'll
chill.
actually address some of the people on the screen. Let me re-show this. But it's nice to see you. It's I don't think we've met before here, but this is an awesome question. Create functionality to add background music throughout the entirety of the podcast. Yes. So we're undergoing some cool engineering work right now, which we'll share in a future weeks, sometime relatively soon. But this is something that relies on that, and we plan to release this soon.
Yeah.
We've heard it from a lot of people. We have intro and outro bookends that are you could upload your music or whatever there, but throughout the duration of the podcast, it's a little bit more difficult. I'm curious. Um, let's say you have a podcast that's 10 minutes long, but you only have music for 2 minutes. Would you like that just to be just repeated throughout? Like, how do you envision music, or do you need to provide at least a 10-minute long sample, which is kind of hard? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
where you find 10-minute long
Yeah.
audio.
And I'm also curious, like, do you know the music you want, or would it, um, would you need like a stock library or something where you can, like, search for music, but, or usually you have the exact piece of music in mind and it's on your computer and you want to upload it. So let us know.
Yeah,
But
this is cool.
yeah, just to kind of come back to Pearson points, this is, I mean, again, we don't want to promise a date, but I'm really hoping that this comes very soon-ish, and I think it's actually it's not just one feature; it's like 20 features because when you think about overlaying music, what you're doing is you're overlaying any media element, image, video, etc. So I think hopefully you guys will see something really cool and very different coming. Without it won't change your hopefully it's not going to impact your Jellypod editing experience, but almost like a post step. Hopefully we'll be adding that soon where you can do all sorts of stuff. So
Right. It's really exciting. So yeah, that'll be soon. Kind of maybe this give me this idea. We'll discuss this if we want to do this, but we previously did a launch week where we had like 5 days of 5 new features, and some of them were smaller and bigger. Some of them were smaller than others, and we have some things in the pipeline. So I'm wondering if maybe we do a launch type of week here. Just throwing it out. I'm not sure if we want to do it, but maybe we'll see launch week 2, and we'll pick a
yeah,
date, and we're like, hey, we'll dump a lot of stuff there, and that was a fun thing to do last time
yeah,
we did.
yeah. I mean, or
Yeah,
like come up with like a name or something for the whole launch with a blog post, like a big update with like blah 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 or
right,
something. Was
totally.
update. But yeah, excited for that. I think the biggest challenge with us, and I think a lot of you guys, who've been on this journey with us, is like um, we want to give you all the cool tools and all the stuff to do what you want, but we also want to keep a very simple, like Apple like experience, where every most defaults just work out of the box. It's a simple experience, and one of the things we like to be we're proud of is compared to other tools out there is that we don't overwhelm the user. A lot of good feedback we've gotten is like they come in, they see the tool, they know how it works for the most part, and they can get in and create their podcast. So we want to keep that going, but then give you more things to do. So there's a obviously there's a trade-off between those two things, inherently. And so how do we best surface new bells and whistles without creating clutter? So let us know what we're very open to suggestions or how things should look, etc. on the editor. Please let us know and share your thoughts.
Right. Yeah, totally. I see here. Yeah. So +1 for the music.
Chill.
Um, like to overlap. That makes sense. Pick when to add the song, when to stop it. So yeah, if you're watching on another platform, we have a bunch of live commenters over here from YouTube. So I'll just show some of these on the screen. Null, ability to upload chapter scripts. I
Here's
think
what
it means
chapter. I mean, you can upload a script, but do you mean like upload like a subset of the script almost?
I think so. I think because on the transcript editor right now, you can edit chapters in the outline, but you can't edit chapters, or you can't add new chapters in the transcript. So it's kind of you're just given what you're given based on what's been generated, and you can make tweaks to the words, but you can't add a new chapter and break things up. So um, yeah, uh, I think
Got it.
that would make sense. I've been working. I know you saw this too, Bilal, yesterday, but like I've been working to understand a little bit better the functionality around the editor, and minimizing code so that we can extend it more easily
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
around like chapters. Like, because this makes sense. I do see people that maybe don't like the generated chapters. I mean, they take the outline, they like the chapters then, but when it comes out into the transcript, like, hey, maybe this just makes sense to make it to two, and they spend more time editing. So breaking it up into a new chapter makes sense. I could see that being, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, and you could totally, so right here, I mean, you could totally decide what you talk about up front. This is one of the key features of Jellypod. This is possible today. It all depends on your outline. So when you go in and you upload your source material, that first step is understanding, editing, reviewing that outline. So you have complete creative control over exactly what each chapter talks about. So just
Yeah.
edit the outline, and you'll be able to decide what each chapter talks about up front. So
Yeah. It's I mean, this is one of those things where we can you know we've thought so much about like how what is the best UX, etc. Like I do think there's always been a kind of a friction between because there's the outline tab and then you go to the transcript tab, and I don't think most people ever go back, and you ideally shouldn't because it is kind of a weird jump. uh, so then the question becomes like, if you don't like the script generated, what is the easiest way to edit it? And then most people like just edit there. I know some people like to go to chat gpt or whatever, right, and copy paste. We've made a upload feature because of that. So I wonder like uh, what is the most common workflow? Is it the ability to copy paste stuff to another like a doc or something and back, or is it uh, like almost like a regenerate audio? You can regenerate script, like kind of a button there or for a chapter,
right,
etc. So it's
right.
interesting.
I think there's like a higher level abstraction here where we're seeing this in Gemini and Google Docs. We're seeing this across the board of just AI content editing, where you select some number of sentences, or in our case, some number of speech blocks, and then you can apply changes. But rather than making the edits yourself, select and say, hey, make this a little bit more informal, or make this, don't explicitly make the change, but just tell the AI how to make the change. And
Yeah, yeah.
so, yeah,
Yeah, we've thought about that too, right? Like a almost like an assistant where you can edit the script by chatting with a bot, like a robot, where like, hey, can you add this? And it
right.
edits, and let us know
Yeah,
if that's an idea that is interesting to you guys.
I have, yeah,
Comes back to the bells and whistles. Like we literally have talked about like six different features in the 5 minutes. So
uh,
so it's almost like it's like it used to be. It's funny because it used to be stuff we can do. Was like that was the ceiling, and now it's like we can do a lot. It's just like should we do it? Is the blocker?
it's true.
Uh,
And how do we do it?
yeah, exactly.
Uh, you know, it's interesting that you bring up that whole like side chat bar thing. I see a lot of programs now are adding in like Google on the Google Drive suite. I mean, they have Gemini on the right hand side that you can just chat with it and make edits. You have a lot of products that just have a chat bar on the right hand side, and you can just like see you chat with your AI, and then it makes changes to the canvas on the left. And that canvas is usually like the typical standard web app that you're used to, but now you just have an AI assistant on the right hand side.
Right.
I'm very curious if that becomes the norm. I'm kind of anti that. Like there is use cases where that totally makes sense, but I think there's better experiences for certain types of applications where
Mm,
the chat bar on the right just it breaks up your thought process
mm,
between like the thing that you're looking at and like the entity who you're communicating with. I think that there's a more intuitive, natural
yeah.
interface
Uh,
with the actual canvas in
Right.
front of you.
No, the way I've thought about that, that made sense for me was almost like having a co-editor. So like you're almost like imagine like you're on a Google Docs and you're on a Google Meet and you're somebody you can see their cursor where they are and then you say, hey, can you just take that sentence out and they do it or whatever.
Right.
And so it's almost like that. It's almost like coding. Like when we code, like we talked about this in our Creative Flux podcast. Pearson and I, we're huge fans of voice editing, where we literally use software where we'll just chat, which gets transcribed real time and then gets added to our IDE, etc. And then we can prompt the AI. And so that just chatting, it just makes it like you're talking to an AI and just collaborating with him. I feel like the experience for writing hasn't quite happened with that flow, and I can totally see people like using that the voice transcription API for that, and with chatting. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't really exactly like when people think it's like almost like the intercom like pop up in the bottom left or whatever, and you're chatting. That does feel a little more ugly, but maybe it's something where you can just talk and the edits happen in front of you. I think there's something magical about that experience.
Totally, totally. It'd be super, super cool. A lot of stuff to come.
Mm.
And I see Noel here was saying how export chapter by chapter script and audio. So
Right.
that's kind of like the segment stuff. We have that tracked down. It'll become easier in the coming months, but yeah, we see this
Chapter by
for
chapter.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have an export feature for the whole script. Maybe we should. I mean, I don't know what the format would it be a text file or like like what
Probably just text.
text probably is really easiest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's that. So and it's cool to see everybody here. We did an experiment today. I didn't know if most of you just booked on your calendar beforehand and just know that this time every Wednesday that we're doing this live stream, or you saw the notification on YouTube. I'm curious if any like if you're willing to share and you put in the chat, just say like YouTube if that's where you came from, because we didn't send out an email today and I was just curious about who showed up, if the email is helpful. But we still have a solid number of people on today and some new faces. So uh, just let us know if it's email, YouTube, um, your calendar, however you remember this. It's helpful for us to see how to reach you all best. Just if you throw that in the chat, it'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Cool. So
We talked about editing. We
talked about
were talking
editing.
about. Um, I feel like we were talking about something before this. Was
Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
mean,
the overlays. Yeah, I mean that's coming. Okay, so yeah, fingers crossed. But hopefully once we integrate that huge feature, that's
right,
going to be super exciting.
right.
And w-
Oh, I have one thing.
wait,
So we've been working on like some bugs behind the scenes, like tough ones that people have been facing. And I'll get to this question in a second. But we've been improving some bugs behind the scenes. Uh, Hopefully, there's been some issues where it says to regenerate audio, which you just generated and it just wouldn't go away. That should be fixed now. If that appears, let us know. Please ping me in support. If you see the regenerate audio orange button appear, even if you just regenerated, please let me know. It'd be very helpful. Um, but also, we've seen some things with Horizon, the new model that we released. Um, if you feel like there's inconsistency in your voice between paragraphs, the best recommendation that we have today is to attempt to regenerate it or to revert back to classic model. We've done some things to hopefully improve that a little bit, but it's still very voice dependent. So there is some voices that just have a higher emotional variability in the new model. So our recommendation is if you experience inconsistency between paragraphs to revert back to classic.
Or try tweaking the backstory of the host. I think that can, because it is sensitive to that as well. I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right, totally. And then we've seen if certain blocks take a while to regenerate, so Horizon's a little bit slower. We've seen some timeout issues. Um, just break up those speech blocks. So if you have a really big block, um, it might be better just to try to break it up and generate that individually. We do some things behind the scenes to do that automatically, but it's just purely we have a number, and if it's too big, then we'll split it up. But um,
Right.
that's a tip.
Yeah, and I saw a comment about robotic choppy voices. I think one thing
Yep.
with Horizon and Milena, I'd be curious, like, if you joined recently, you should be on Horizon by default. So I don't know that it's in account settings, but I would try that model, because what you can do if you feel like your voice is the voice is very robotic or choppy for certain sentences, you can add stuff, and we haven't released this feature. It's kind of a silent feature, but you can add brackets and stuff like whispers loudly or laughs, or like she says gasping, and if you do use those square brackets, it'll add that emotional context to the speech, and that can help make it more lively and natural.
Right. Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend checking. Oh yeah. So if you're an old user, I'm not old user. You're a longtime supporter of
Right.
Jellypod. Yeah, just go into your account settings and change that default voice model from Classic to Horizon to try the new one, and just play around with it and let us know what your thoughts are. Regarding settings, this is not really a new feature, but there's something new that came out. Like the settings portal has kind of changed. You have three tabs. You have just the standard settings. You have your billing settings and usage. So usage is a little bit more in depth now. It fixes some bugs there about your credit transactions. So that should all be working now. And we added a Teams tab. So we're adding Teams in the coming weeks. So if you're an agency or you're using this for business and you want to add another team member underneath the same account, seems like most people on the call aren't doing it that way, but there's a lot of businesses that do want this. So um, we'll be adding teams in the coming weeks.
Yeah. So excited for that. Becoming a proper company. Even more
Teams,
proper.
enterprise, compliance, GDPR, all of
All
the
the good
above,
stuff.
all the fun documentation, everything. Um, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody? I want to make sure that if anyone's
Yeah. And if you
reached out.
guys like for the change in tone, I'm curious, like please let us know. Is it a voice clone or is it a voice design or just one of the professional? I'd be curious like if there's one particular type of voice that has that issue for Horizon.
Right, right. I think I need to take some time and to go through all the voices and just reevaluate certain ones and prioritize ones that are better for V3 because there are some voices that we just know are better that have been trained specifically to be more consistent and expressive. So yeah, I don't know if it broke out there. It seemed like I got an error, but yeah, we'll spend some time looking into the voices and making them better for everybody.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so if yeah, you can share with us through support. So on the support channel, if you click on the bottom right hand corner, there's need help button. Just click it and just share it there. That'd be super helpful whenever you have issues. Um, it's a clone voice, so that makes sense. Or I mean, doesn't make sense, but thanks for sharing. And then yes, we have support for Spanish. So um, yeah, we have Spanish voices on there. Um, Spain Spanish, Mexican Spanish, different accents. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you know you have to have the vosotros and then nosotros and all the above.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, and thanks for the support, Noel. Like, yeah, we'll appreciate. Any
Yeah, thank you, Noel.
comments on that? Yeah. Yeah, Milena, please, if you have issues, please reach out in support. On Intercom you can, and we'll try to help you with those sentences.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. We're here to help as
Yeah,
best as we can, and that's why we do these too. So,
yeah,
if anyone has questions,
yeah. But I would definitely try the Horizon model. Like just like so go to counter settings, switch the model, and then maybe pick a speech block and regenerate that particular block. It doesn't cost you any extra. It's the same number of credits, but maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised at the change.
right? Totally, totally. Yeah. Well, um, yeah. Well, I mean, we usually do this for about 30 minutes. Time flew by today. Kind of crazy. If there's any other questions about anything, tips, issues, complaints, comments, please throw them in the chat. We can answer them right now. But if not, you could always reach out to us through email. People reach out through email, through the support button on the bottom right hand corner. Um, we're working on a lot of cool stuff. It's just sometimes it takes longer to do the bigger things. So we don't have all these every week. Some little new small things. We're going to have to do some bigger swings. Um, so stay on the lookout for all of that. We'll keep everybody updated. Um,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for all the support. And yeah, let us know how we can just make Jellypod better. Like, you can you obviously, tell us here or, reach out on contact or support, etc. And,
right.
we're always listening for ideas.
Totally. And soon we'll probably be doing these. We'll see. Maybe we'll do some of these in person together, Wall and I.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that'd be cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, exciting. Yeah. Moving to California. We'll see. Hopefully that, hopefully that's going to make Jellypod even better, with some IRL interactions.
That's true. That's true. It's important. I think so.
Yeah.
Um, but cool. Okay. Well, weekly Wednesday, week, I don't know, 40 something, maybe, however long we've been doing these for. Maybe not 40. Maybe we'll be there soon. But we'll see everybody next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
All
Yeah.
right. Take care, guys. Bye.